My childhood was fatherless. I was raised by my mom, my grandma, my aunties, and sometimes my uncle when he came around. So it was an interesting childhood. My mom and I relationship was at that time was cool, I guess, until I'm seeing friends with their fathers and things, and I really wanted my father in my life, so didn't have my father, and that was kind of rough. Gave my mom a hard time for it. I gave my mom a real hard time for it. My brother came along, and his father left him, so my brother he deals with the same thing. My sister, I guess, went through the same thing. Although my sister had our father in her life, so from time to time, right? So, but at the same time, my childhood was kind of interesting, kind of dark, but very compelling, which made me to who I am today. Yeah, I wanted my father in my life. What kid didn't want their father in their life? I mean, I know what my kids were going through when me and their moms broke up. So, yeah, I really wanted my father in my life. So I gave my mom a hard time because I really, really, really wanted to spend time and have that quality time with him. So I came up not having that fatherly guidance that I needed through key situations in my life. You know, and my uncle wasn't there for me if he wasn't disciplining me for making mom mad for some reason. So, you know, there's a few traumatic things I could say that I endured in my life. One was, I was raped by my mom's boyfriend when I was young, and yeah, that was that point in my life. Made kind of set me up to who I am today as well. It took a lot for me to get over that situation. Um, you know, I thought I was gay for a long time. I really thought I was gay because just the way I have felt violated with that whole situation. Um, that's why I dated a lot of women when I was young. That's why I was around a lot of girls. You know what I mean? So I could feel like a man. That's why I was dating a lot of girls, dating a lot of girls. Didn't know nothing about no love. I just wanted to fuck, fuck, fuck. It's crazy, right? And another traumatic part of my life is my girlfriend, being murdered in front of me. That was rough. And then my son dying last year. Those are three real traumatic things that happened in my life that I can say that what is making me or made me of what I am today. My son dying, that's giving me a whole new sense of urgency of life or trying to do and be there for my kids. My relationship with my parents. I try to have a solid. I mean, I love my parents. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. But you know, I love my mom. I love my dad. But my relationship with them is not the way I really wanted it. My mom is my mom. She's my mother. I love her. But it's just some things that happened in the past that question the loyalty of our relationship. And my dad as well. You know, I love my father. You know, he went through the drug thing. You know, when he was doing his drugs, and you know, he was addicted to crack and all that stuff like that, alcoholic. And you know, I was kind of mad at him for him trying to kill me when I was a baby, and as well as not trying hard enough to get mom back. You know, there was a lot of. I mean, when I was a kid, when I visited my father, when I met my father for the first time, you know, I burned down his basement because I was mad at him. You know, it was kind of just lashing out at him. That's kind of crazy. My mom had this boyfriend that had these boxing gloves, and it was autographed signed by Sugar Ray Robinson. And I guess he used to mess with me with the his hands was like the mitts, and he had me punching them when I was a kid and stuff. So that stuck with me as I got older, and I did research older. You know, I had those gloves for a long time, and I don't remember where those gloves are at now. I don't know if within my journey they just going somewhere, um, but yeah, that were actually set up my life to become a boxer, and you know, I love the sport and I studied it a lot, and that's why I am who I am today. My relationship with my siblings, you know, I have a brother and a sister, and I have stepbrothers. My brother Jason, him and I, you know, we're not we're we're not close like I want. I really would like to have a close relationship with my brother, but you know, he's into music, he's doing his thing, you know, he living his life. At one point, he had this thing that he thought I hated him for whatever reason it was, you know, because I guess I treated him sometimes differently. Um, Somehow, sometimes I felt that my mom, you know, treated him different than she treated me, coming up. Which you know he's the youngest, so it is what it is. My sister and I, we were super close. You know, I really love my sister, but there's after my son passed away, uh, there was some situations that came up where I saw my sister for who she is, and you know, it is what it is. You know, it's my sister, I love her, but you know, the relationship with her is like nothing. I guess it just we don't talk or anything. You know, I reached out to her and said hi to my sister. You know, I love my sister. You know, I love my brother. I talk to him. I talk to them when I do get a chance, but they don't call me. For one thing, what got me to film is my mom told me that my father didn't sign some papers for me to be a Gerber baby because I think I was supposed to be a Gerber baby when I was young, and my father didn't sign the paperwork, and my father didn't want me to do that, or didn't want my mom to sign me up for nothing like that, and I didn't become a Gerber baby. So when my mama told me that, that kind of ticked me off, and I was like, wow, I could have been set for life. And you know, watching Poltergeist when I was young, and I saw the guy who played Robbie or whatever his character is, the boy, you know, and I was like, wow, if he could do that, I could do that. And from that point on, I just wanted to get into acting. So that started off from the Gerber baby thing, and then watching Poltergeist when I was young, and to now, you know. And I always watched movies and TV shows and stuff like that, and I was always intrigued by it. Do I like auditioning for roles? Yeah, auditioning is fun. Studying my craft is fun. Going in and just knowing that I'm giving my all after studying the character and learning the plots and things and such forth. You know, I actually like auditioning for a character. You know, learning the character and going in and just giving my all into that character. So auditioning is fun. My worst audition is when I auditioned for NCIS New Orleans. That audition, I got the sides late, and I studied the sides and stuff, right? And I was studying and studying and studying. You know, I have like a ritual I do when I study my character, you know, and I'm starting learning my lines. So I'm learning the lines, and my son, he's helping me with the lines and things and such forth. And now he had to go to school the next day, so I'm over here still trying to learn these lines, and I having him help me out so before he go to bed, and I'm working with these lines and he's helping me with it, and then he goes to bed and I'm in the bathroom working with the lines all night, you know, and I only had like 2 hours sleep. Get up, go to his audition. I got everything down pat. I'm reading the lines, so I'm getting to the place. I go into the audition. I'm the second to last up to do the audition, I think, or the third to last or something like that. Went in there and I bombed it. Bombed it. Lost my lines. Tired. I was super sleepy. It was a debacle. She gave me another chance. She said, go leave out the room. I left out the room, tried to recollect myself, beat myself up, go back in there, and I missed it again. Missed the beats, missed everything. Worst audition ever. Worst audition ever. Big time. I learned from that, and that would never happen again. My best audition was auditioning for same kind of different as me. I was very hungry. Um, I got the sides. I studied the lines, studied the character, dug myself deep into that character, and I did the audition without my, without this tooth in my mouth, and I did the little country, little swag, put some country swag to it, and I did it with my laptop, sent it to them. They liked it. They wanted it. They said to do it again because the quality was kind of off because it was from my laptop, so I did it from my phone. Did it again, sent it to them. They liked it, and then after that, I wait a week later, got the role. So it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I was working on Glory Road, and I see all the production assistants doing their thing, and then how they running the background around and telling us to do this and that, and I know every set that I work on, I see these guys always working with got their little head earpiece in, the little surveillance earpiece in, or the McDonald earpiece in, doing their thing, and I was like, man, I want to do what they're doing. I can do that. So I went to the AD. His name was James Rock, and I asked him, could I become a do what they do? Because I didn't know the position. I didn't even know what the position was called. I said, can I do what they do? And he was like, um, do I have experience? I was like, no. I said I had to start somewhere. And he said, well, give me a resume. So I took a napkin, wrote my information on a napkin, told him what stuff I worked on, and in the past, which was just Scream 2, Mama Force Family, and some other little stuff. So I put that on the napkin, sent it to him, and a week later he calls me, and I started PN from there. And Sherman Shelton is another AD. Both of those guys started my production career, so I learned a lot working behind the scenes. It was fun doing that. My journey to California, it was a compelling one. A girl I was dating at the time and I broke up, and I got tired of sitting staying in Chicago. I was in Chicago at the time, just finished working on Dark Knight, Wanted, and some other stuff, Prison Break and all that. And I had some friends that worked on Prison Break that was out in Cali already. Said, man, you need to come out to Cali, man. It's a place to be. And I was like, you know what? Okay. I took my last check from Applebee's, left my car in a Walmart parking lot, and I just took the bus ride, to California. Lived in Long Beach for a month with a friend. I was homeless for 6 months on Skid Row. That was a experience in itself, being on Skid Row. Yeah, it was an experience being on Skid Row. Skid Row was a interesting experience because you see a tent city, all the tents and the hundreds of thousands of people homeless. It's crazy. The smell is awful. The little balloon things on the ground, the syringes and the drug pieces, drug paper and all the stuff like that. You got crackheads and cocaine heads and heroin heads all on this one long stretch of homeless people, and then you got all these shelters and hotels around there, and I stayed in a rescue mission, you know. Um, it was an interesting and humbling experience living on Skid Row, I seen some things, I seen a delusional, it's just that experience in itself was crazy living on Skid Row for 6 months. Yes, I was homeless like lived on the streets too. I lived at the bus station. I lived the library. Stayed in the library to go to sleep. You know, it was just crazy. That whole experience was I guess a character builder for me. When the bell rings was always a thought of mine back when I moved down to New Orleans in 2001 when I tried to get back into boxing again. And a gentleman named Tony Tubbs, who was a boxer, a world champion boxer, or he was a heavyweight fighter. I don't know if he's a world champion or not, but um, he was a heavyweight fighter, a former fighter that took me under his wing, and I wanted to get back in shape. He liked what I had, and we worked for a while, but he had drug issues that at that time that I couldn't deal with, you know. So from that point, I wanted to do a comeback story about my life from me not making the Olympics in '96 and all that stuff. So, or not even making the trials or anything. So, um, just the whole process from 2001, just thinking about getting and talking to different people, telling them, look, I want to shoot this comeback, and me getting out of shape, getting bigger every year. I'm getting bigger and bigger, and the bigger I got, the bigger I got, the more people look at me like, you ain't no boxer or whatever, you know. And I really want to get in shape and shoot this process. So being in California, working at the Spirit Awards, working for Film Independent, I met Brad Boris there, and I told him my life story, and everything happened from that point. And that's how When the Bell Rings actually came to life. Is to not to make the same mistakes that I've made. I'm writing a book about my life. It's called Hood View Mirror: The Misunderstandings of Dino Wells. Um, that story is just true, hardcore, everything about my life, and I dig deep into it, talking about all the ups and downs of my life, all the dark edges of my life, and things of such forth. So, but I want people to learn not to make the same mistakes I made. Keep pushing forward. Be resilient. Don't let nobody tell you no, and just do it. You know, do what you have to do to be successful, and do and keep positive people in your corner. I say this all the time. So don't let nothing take you off your edge. Don't let knock you off your rocker. Just keep doing it. Keep pushing forward. You will get there. But if you go to itsmyurls.com/ Dina Wells, all my URLs are there. If you go to aboutme.com / Dina Wells, all my URLs are there as well, with a bio, a trailer to my documentary, When the Bell Rings. But if you don't want to do none of that, just go to @Dina Wells on Twitter, Dina_Wells on Snapchat, Mr. Dina Wells on YouTube. I'm all over the internet. Just Google me, you'll find me. Dina Wells, the next household name.